It is Friday, March 14th, 2025. This is another offseason edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well, as we are now less than 2 weeks away from opening day here in the States. We are just a few days away from opening day over in Japan between the Cubs and the Dodgers. And Trevor Plouffe, we just have a few more baseball-less weekends to get through, if you will.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited. We're going to talk about the series in Japan between the Dodgers and the Cubs, but then that's great. But then you think about the onslaught of games that's about to come, and we're excited. We're just talking. We're going to go back to 5 days a week shortly, and that's when we really start humming, Chris. You and I, when we're together all the time, baby, it just starts to get real smooth together.
I can't wait until those West Coast studios are built so we can actually do the show together.
Need it.
How are those coming, by the way? How are those coming?
We're in the plans. We're still drawing the plans. Yeah.
So we're like Stu Sternberg with trying to get the stadium done. Don't worry. It's right around the corner.
No, don't put that on us, bro.
Ooh.
Don't put that on us.
A little too soon. My bad. Tip of the cap. Shohei. I mean, he has become we already knew he was global, but then when we found out a few days ago that his skin was going to be available in Fortnite, are you kidding? I think it's coming out on March 17th on Monday. Dude, I know you're a Fortnite guy, aren't you?
I can't wait. I don't even have an account because I just play on my kids. Like, I will create an account to get this. Like, this is amazing. Both my kids are going to get it. I actually texted his agent, my former agent, Nez, and I was like, dude, this is perfect because this not only showcases what kind of star he truly is, because this is reserved for, like Messi and like LeBron. Like, this transcends baseball. So I said, one, it's really cool, but I think it's going to propel him even further. I think this is going to be one of the most popular skins, and that's big business, Chris. Let me tell you something. I'm learning. My pockets are getting lighter and lighter because these dang skins are big business on Fortnite.
I know, and that's just part of the problem of being a parent is that you give your credit card and they poke it in.
Dude, they just drain it.
I know, and all of a sudden,
slow leak.
Yeah, you look at your credit card statement, you're like, somebody been going skinning? Yeah, I know.
And the problem is I like it too, so I'm like,
I know, right? You kind of dive headfirst into it. So it just shows you the power of Shohei, which will be on full display over the weekend when the Dodgers and Cubs play their respective exhibition games over in Japan, and then they start the tango next Tuesday and Wednesday. Pitching matchups were officially set. It'll be Yamamoto and Shota in the opener on Tuesday, Roki and Justin Steele in Game 2. Are you fired up for the 2-game set here, Plouffe, or are you upset that the season is actually starting in the Far East?
So personally, like, I don't know if I'm going to get up and necessarily watch all the games. I'll probably watch them later. So like, I am fired up. This is the reason I'm fired up, though. I'm fired up for the people in Japan because there are some absolutely passionate baseball fans out there, and I truly believe that one of the coolest things about baseball is the fact that we do draw athletes from all around the world. And I think giving back to those places is the right thing to do. So even if Major League Baseball doesn't make a dime, which obviously this is a big business play for them. They want to showcase the sport. But even if they didn't make a dime, I think it's the right thing to do to go give those fan bases, Japan, I would love to see a game in Cuba. I'd love to see a game in Venezuela. I'd love to see a game in the DR. Like, these are, I want to reward those cultures for what they've given baseball. Like, they've given so much to the game. I love the fact that I got to spend so much time around these guys from different cultures and learn, how they grew up and how they play the game. It's such like a beautiful part of the sport. It really does. Like, it makes me emotional talking about it because I really do. I'm passionate about it. So I think that's why I'm excited about this series, is the fact that those fans in Japan are going to see some of their stars. Like, they believe those are their players, man. And they're going to get to see them go up against the best in the world right in front of their eyes. I think it honestly is magical. And I think, again, I would love to see a game in Venezuela, in Cuba, and in the Dominican. Like, we saw what happened in Puerto Rico. I thought that was awesome. Like, let's keep the ball rolling here because the fans and the cultures, I think, deserve it, Chris.
It's a great point. I used to, I think, get a little upset that the first game wasn't played here in the States. Now it doesn't bother me. It's just that there's no perfect scenario with the time difference. That's the only
Yeah,
problem.
the time difference is tough.
Because I want to be able to enjoy everything that comes along with this game. You can already see how the Cubs and the Dodgers have started to ingratiate themselves in the Japanese culture, right? I mean, the Cubs did something together. And I loved that, Shoto was like leading them, and he said, listen, if you have any questions, you ask Seiya and myself. This is our homeland. Whatever it takes, we want you to feel comfortable. We want you to understand. All you have to do is bow at us when you're done. And this is a wonderful trip. I went out to Dodgers camp during spring training, and I talked to a dozen guys. They were all looking forward to this trip. Sometimes when you have to get on a plane, and yes, the games count, but it really doesn't feel a part of the regular season because you go there, then you come back and you play a few exhibition games, then you get ramped up again for this. They were all looking forward to this trip in part because they wanted to see what the hell it's like when you land and Shohei Ohtani is there in Japan. We had Vinny Pasquantino tell us a couple of years ago on the Rose rotation when he played for Team Italia in the World Baseball Classic. I think they were in the quarterfinals playing in the Tokyo Dome. He said, dude, you couldn't go 3 feet without seeing something about Shohei. And that was, 2 years ago? Yeah. I mean, imagine what has happened since then.
It's going to be amazing. I'm. It actually gets me, like, I get goosebumps thinking about that atmosphere, what it's going to be like to be able. This is Major League Baseball did a great job understanding like who's on these rosters and what that means to bring them back and showcase them in front of their own culture. It's thumbs up right there.
Listen, it's not the same as when the NFL goes to London or Germany. They're starting to go to a few other places and play. They're going to have a game in Spain.
That feels way more businessy than something like this.
Yeah, it is businessy. There's no question. I mean, I had a chance to call one of the games in London last year. It's still really, really fun to go to. And because of the time difference, they can have it as the first game of the day over here,
sure,
where, it kicks at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. If people want to watch it, they don't have to be zombies the next day.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA goes to Paris. They've gone to Paris the last couple of years, but that has been barely a blip on the radar. This year they sent Wemby and the Spurs to play the Pacers in a 2-game series. You don't even know the game's like on NBA TV. You have no idea that it's on. It's just weird. This, I think, is kind of a meshing of the two. Like they found a medium here. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect time scenario, but I look forward to everything that comes along with it. So I can't wait. By the way, tickets $2,000 for the game. Hey, did you see the one thing with Seiya where he was taking hacks with a samurai sword at the baseball?
Yes, I did. It scared the living hell out of me, Chris. Like, what if he like follows through a little bit too much there and slices his arm off or his neck off? Like that thing's obviously very sharp.
Well, I don't know if in Japanese culture, do like kids grow up with swords, like samurai swords? Is that like
here's my question. Was that AI or something, or is this a real video? Because that was incredible what just happened.
That doesn't look AI.
It doesn't. I know, but dude, these days you got to be careful.
That's
true.
That's
insane that he's able to do that.
I know. Like he didn't just, it looked like he cut through every single one. Like he was barreling up. I don't know if you can barrel up on a sword, but
he barreled up that sword. Yes, he did, Chris.
He did.
It scared me. I was like, dude, what if he just forgets that he has a sword? He's like, oh, it's a baseball bat. And he goes down and tries to hit the dirt off his spikes and cuts his foot off.
Wow, you're always thinking of the worst here, Dad.
I'm just saying. Yeah, no kidding. Don't
like
you?
Me.
I know you do the same thing, Chris.
Oh my God, yeah, I'm the worst. I wouldn't let the kids play when we lived in a gated community. I wouldn't let them play in the front yard without me watching.
Olivia and I are going through that exact same thing right now. Teddy's like, can I go ride my bike outside? I'm like, no. If someone comes with you.
No, you can't.
And our streets are safe.
I know,
but
right? I mean,
Olivia's having a very hard time. No sleepovers. And I'm actually on that one too.
No sleepovers.
No, like very few families we'd let that happen with.
No sleep. What type of parents are you?
He's 9 years old, Chris. What does he need a sleepover for?
How many sleepovers had you had at 9? About 12?
Not a lot. I'll tell you why. Because I lived an hour away from all of my friends. I mean, I didn't grow up near my friends, so
This sounds like an issue you need to get through.
that's it. I'm fine.
Before we move on to the next topic, quick reminder, if you're a first-time joiner here of Baseball Today, welcome. Don't know where you've been, but welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got a ton of great videos that are always available on your JM Baseball channel. And also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That's always important. Helps spread the word. So just do that for us. We appreciate it. We'll keep going. Reason I'm wearing this Dodgers cap, not only are they playing in the first series of the year, but Dave Roberts finally got that much-wanted extension. 4 years, a shade over 32 mil. That puts him just ahead of Craig Counsell for highest total ever for a manager. How much credit should Dave Roberts get for the Dodgers' run over the last 9 seasons?
I think people are going to expect me to say not that much credit because, I mean, the roster is the roster and those guys have to go play. And I still do feel that way. But here's the thing. I probably don't give enough credit to managers. I don't know if I'm getting soft, but maybe I'll loosen my stance just a little bit. I'll tell you.
Are you okay? Are you?
I'll tell you why.
Before you know it, you're going to be
I'm going to give him.
Before you know it, you're going to be letting Teddy have massive sleepovers throughout the week. I
No,
mean, you're
listen,
a changed man.
Whereas I would have given them like 5% of the credit, maybe I'll give 10% now because going and now, it's been a couple years where I've gotten in and been broadcasting games, so I'm around the coaches more. I pay attention to the coaches a little bit more because I have to do the manager scrum and all these things. And I do think back to my playing days with like talking to Paul Molitor about becoming a manager. It's a lot of work, man. Like if you're a major league manager, it is 100% your life, and you spend every waking moment thinking about your baseball club. Rocco Baldelli told me that. He's like, man, like I wake up and all I can think about is like, what can I do to make sure I'm putting these guys in the right position? There's so many, you're responsible for 26 dudes, and then obviously more in your organization, but on your roster, you're responsible to put those guys in the best position. And that means eventually it comes down to what they make in the big leagues. Like you're helping them, set their families up, or like there's just a lot that goes into it. So I think what Dave Roberts does really well is he understands that players are individuals. They're just people. Like, I know a lot of times they put on a pedestal, but they're people. And you have to understand what motivates each certain person. And he has had to deal with, superstars. And it's easy to, I think it's easy to manage them, coach them. But dealing with a lot of different personalities, I think that's his sweet spot. And he's able to kind of give the leash when he needs to give the leash, and he's able to understand the dynamics of a clubhouse, when to pull it back a little bit. So, I think that's he's exactly the manager that the Dodgers need. They don't need some guy to come in there and make sure everyone's doing exactly what I want to do. It's like, no, he understands. I know the roster I have. Let's let these guys breathe. Let's let them play. Let me put them in the best situation possible. Let me be positive. Let me have their backs. He does that perfectly. So, how much credit out of 100%? 10%, maybe 7.
I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but I would like to give him a decent amount. Obviously, the Dodgers are going to punch their ticket to the playoffs every year. Now, we say that, but the Yankees haven't made it every year, and they've had an exorbitant payroll and a lot of talent there. So sometimes weird things happen, right? The Red Sox kind of been up and down at times. They've had the highest of highs, and then there have been years where they finished last in their division and missed the playoffs. So we can't just say, oh, well, the Dodgers, you throw on the cap like this, and all of a sudden we'll see in October. It just feels that way. So there is something to be said for that. Also, no manager in the history of baseball has won games at a higher clip than Dave Roberts' 627 winning percentage. That's pretty good. Pretty damn good. He has 56 playoff wins. Only Bruce Bochy has more among active managers. Some people would think with Terry Francona coming back in the fold that he would usurp that. That is not accurate. Dave Roberts is one of just 6 managers since the postseason expanded in 1969 to divisional play that has won 4 pennants with the same team. Here's the other guys: Earl Weaver, Sparky Anderson, Bobby Cox, Joe Torre, Tommy Lasorda. They're all in Cooperstown. They're all
Oh,
in Cooper.
he's going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
And I guarantee you that when he goes in, because let's be honest, before he won last year, his second World Series title, and the first one without the asterisk for some people, not for me, but without the asterisk for the shortened season, there were still some Dodger fans who wanted him gone. And don't sit here and say, well, that wasn't me, because there were some of you. I heard the rumblings. I have friends that are Dodger fans. They would text to me all the time. Well, he got lucky. He did this. Really? I mean, he decided to go with a bullpen game down 2-1 against the San Diego Padres, and he ended up winning that game and winning game 5 and going on to win the NLCS and win the World Series. So don't we have to give him credit for when he does push the right buttons, Trev?
Yeah, we're giving him credit. I gave him credit. I gave him 7%.
7%. It's interesting.
Shohei did come last year.
He did.
He was on the team.
And hey, guess what? You know who else won with good players? Phil Jackson. I mean,
yeah, no kidding.
I kind of equated a little bit to that. Like Phil Jackson came in, MJ and the Bulls were having a tough time getting over the hump. They were always good, and he changed things up. Now, he ended up winning, 6 with the Bulls and 5 with the Lakers, so 11 titles overall. He's got that cute little hat. He does it a different style. You know, he would hand out books. He would play the mental game with his players. He was a tough, tough coach, too. I think a lot tougher than people thought. They thought he was just the Zen master sitting over the sidelines, struggling with a bad hip. He was a much tougher coach than probably people thought. You don't see that out of Doc. He's always happy. He's slapping guys on the back. But that's what it takes to get through the baseball season.
Yeah, positivity goes so much further in a baseball season. It is night and you have to be positive. You have to be positive.
If we have a managerial draft 1 through 30, how high does Dave Roberts go?
Don't ask me stuff like this. I have no idea, Chris.
Why?
I really have
That's a good
no
question.
Idea. 10.
10? You're saying there's 9 guys you'd rather have as a baseball manager than Dave Roberts?
I told you I don't know. I can start naming some. Vogt is my number 1 overall draft pick.
Stephen Vogt is the best. Terry Francona just came back. Bruce Bochy's here.
I'm getting the blue chip prospect who's proven at the big league level. Like I have him for 20 years if I want him. Terry Francona, I have him for 4 years maybe.
Interesting.
I think Vogt by far is the number 1 pick.
Wow. What about a guy like Craig Townsend?
He's 40, isn't he? 42? Like, let's go. This guy's in the managed for 20 years.
He just turned 40, and he's in great shape. Holy smokes. Dude.
Is he really?
Okay, so I saw him in spring training, gave him a big bear hug, and I was like, dude, what happened? He goes, I got fat last year, and I wasn't happy. He goes, it was the first time in my life, like, I stopped lifting weights, getting ready for a season, because I had to just get back.
He was never, like, in great shape as a player.
He's like, strong.
Dude, these coaches are insane now, because they get to the park so early, they all work out together, and, like, I guess if you don't work out, like, you're not part of the crew, bro. Like, you have to do it. The Twins, Dustin Morris, the head of travel, he's all roped up or he's head of PR. Mike Terman's head of travel.
Mike Herman.
They're both all roped up because they get there early and work out with the guys.
Yeah, I know. Those guys are all. I think they have like a competition against the other teams, traveling secretaries and head of communication.
They might win the best looking draft. You know what it was? Nelson Cruz challenged both of them while he was there, and they kept it going.
Oh, okay. Good for them. Good for them. Hey, let us know in the comments below about Dave Roberts. How much credit should he receive? You know what? Why don't you give us your list of your 5 top managers in baseball while you're here? It could be an interesting look. So go for it. Give us a list. Today's episode, it is sponsored by Indeed. Just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. So stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring process right now with Indeed. Baseball Today listeners, you're going to get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/baseball. Once again, just go to Indeed.com/baseball right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this very podcast. Indeed.com/baseball. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. All right, we continue on with some good and not good news out of Boston's camp. Lucas Giolito, our buddy, just said goodbye on the Rose rotation. He was saying hello to his first start, coming back from another arm surgery, and he hits the whammy with the hammy. He's going to start the season on the injured list. We send our best wishes. Meanwhile, Rafael Devers, he's had trouble with both shoulders in the spring. He has been taking at bats against his own pitchers, but he's expected to play perhaps this weekend for the first time for the Red Sox in a game. Now, his position, once the season starts, we don't know, because his position at the beginning of camp was, even after they signed Alex Bregman, I am a third baseman. That is my job. Well, it sounds like he has changed his tune somewhat. Here is Devers and his translator.
I'm good to do whatever they want me to do. I'm here to help.
Dile que yo hablé con ellos ya y que dile eso.
He's already I've already spoken with them about that, and they know where I stand. But I'm just ready to play.
You just said you were willing to do whatever they asked you to do.
Pero yo hablé con ellos sobre lo que quería.
Yes, but I spoke with them clearly about what it is that I want.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
No, es algo privado, es algo que hablé con el gerente y con el manager. No lo puedo decir aquí, por lo mismo que te dije, se va a ver muy feo.
No, I can't talk about it right now. The GM and the manager know where I stand.
Okay, that last part is the one that got me. Where he said, "Can you tell us where it's?" No.
I don't mind that. I mean, I agree. You have to. There are some things like you need to keep behind closed doors. I say that all the time. Everything doesn't have to be out in the open, people. Jeez.
Okay, so is this now a non-story?
I don't know, because I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened, because like at the beginning of the clip, if you just watch some of the clips that are on social media, it's like, I'm ready to do whatever it takes. Like that's the quote that people are running with. But then it's like, they know exactly where I stand, and where he stands, he put out there earlier, he's a third baseman. So I don't know what's going on, but I do think once you get in a clubhouse, Chris, and you get into spring training, and man, that team feels like they have a real good chance this year, and they should. When you get into the clubhouse and there is what I think a consensus is a clear path to like the best lineup, and you're not like on board with it, and that's like a decision you have to make. Even a guy of his stature, like you start to feel, I think, a little bit of pressure. You're there to win baseball games, and man, if you're the guy that's keeping them from being their best, then I think that they're, again, like, I don't know if anyone said anything to him necessarily, like, hey, you got to do this, but there just will be a feeling of like, okay, like we're a team, man. You spend so much time around each other. You don't want to be, the cog in the wheel. Like you want everything to go smoothly. So I think he's probably feeling that a little bit. And we'll see how it goes. I just don't think this is going to be a big story within. Like it's a story we're talking about now because it's quotes and we don't know what's going to happen. But as soon as the season starts, like this thing's going to figure itself out. And I bet we won't even like really remember it by the end of the year. Like whether he's playing third base or not, like I just feel like it's going to be a non-story eventually once the games start.
Don't you think, though, Alex Cora has to come out and just take a stand and just be like, this is what it is. Alex Bregman's our third baseman. Is who's going to be our second baseman. Rafi's going to DH, and if Breggy ever needs a day off or something, maybe you'll see him in the field occasionally, but this is the way we're going about it. Then you let Rafael Devers talk about it, and he'll say whatever he says in front of the microphone, and then we move on. So to me, it's still a story until that is cemented, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But I think you're exactly right how it will happen. I think there will be possibly it might come from Devers first. I feel like that's what they'd want. Like, okay, it's Devers' decision. So Devers like, you know what? I'm going to do what's best for the team. I'm going to start the year as a DH, and I'll be ready if they need me at third base. And then Cora will talk. I think it'll go that way instead of manager first and player.
And, I think we as fans, we look at this and say, what is the big deal? You've already gotten your $300 million payday. Just go be DH and mash in that lineup, and that's it.
I feel that way.
Okay, I understand that, but you also probably understand the other side of this, which is Rafael Devers has always had a glove on his hand. He is always busy throughout the game. Some guys cannot DH, right? I've talked to some dudes who say it is impossible. They would rather have an entire day off than DH because they don't know how to do it. And maybe
I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. To me, who said that? I want to know. I get it. Like there are times you want to get your mind off of your offense. So you go out there in defense, you kind of forget about it. But dude, I mean, with the facilities that every place has now, like you're not just sitting there on the bench. Like you used to have to sit on the bench and then go up there and hit. Like now take your at bat, you go down to the cage, you're watching the game, you're taking swings, you're able to stay warm. There's a whole weight room adjacent. Like they have everything. It's a different game now than it was back in the day. So I'm kind of like not on board with that anymore.
It's been a few years since I've been to Fenway. I don't know if they've got everything that you need.
They've made adjustments. They've done it.
Okay.
The visitors one's interesting. If I recall correctly, you still have to like go up this beautiful, small, tiny hallway to the clubhouse. And they might have changed all this, but then you walk through the clubhouse. It is a little bit of a walk, but again, you can still watch the game in there, come back when you're needed.
Okay. So, we have a little thing on this program that we use to put the show on the air. It's not Zoom. This isn't Zoom. It's some other program. And so Dan has the ability to chat with us, throw something in the chat if there's breaking news and we can get to it. So we appreciate that. Open up the chat, Plouffe. Can you hit the chat button? Look at what it says. Look at who the note came from. Director. So Dan Rourke is now a director. Okay, Spielberg, Scorsese. Holy smokes! Dan Rourke is our new director of this. Oh,
I'm in. I let Dan do whatever he wants.
Oh my God! Hey, you okay? I don't know if that's the right. That might not be the best business move, Plouffe. There you go, Dan Rourke. Shout out, and to our intern Sawyer. Good job. All right, it's year 2 of the spring breakout. It got started Thursday, only one game because the Dodgers and Cubs, their game was not played due to inclement weather out in Arizona. So all 30 teams. Sorry, I just created expansion on the fly. Congratulations to 2 cities around the country. All 30 teams are going to have a chance to use their best prospects if you haven't done this. As I mentioned, the Red Sox and Rays went at it on Thursday night, and boy, the Red Sox heavy hitters were at it.
Does he play second? Does he play short? Does he play the outfield?
To right field into the corner, and that one's going up onto the deck. So Campbell and Meyer go back-to-back, and the Red Sox lead 3-0.
So, I mean, we just saw 2 of the top 12 prospects in baseball homer back-to-back.
Oh, yeah, and a third, Anthony would hit a blast as well. So all 3 of their big-time prospects went.
I wanted to show that video. That
was impressive.
That's about as pretty of a swing as you're going to get. I understand it's spring training. I understand these are minor league guys. But, dude, when you unleash – if you're listening to this or watching it, go search Roman Anthony homer. That is an absolutely beastly swing.
Yeah, Director Dan's going to get it. So the question I have for you with this series, are you on board with it or are you bored of it?
No, I love it. I think it's so cool. First of all, I think if you're a guy that gets named to go to this game, like what an honor. Like it gives guys who are in minor league camp something to strive for. Like, hey, I want to be part of the spring break again. I want to be this guy. I love competition like that. And this is just kind of like an extension of the Arizona Fall League, which I think is really cool. And I wish that got more flowers. Like it's essentially like, an all-star game, every day during the off season. I wish they figured that out more and like televise it, because it's really cool to see all these guys play together. And then now, representing your organization, going up against the top prospects. Like, it's kind of like, hey, let's see what you're made of type game. I think it's really cool. Watch this swing. Oh,
God, that is no joke.
They do a slow-mo like in back of the swing. I don't know if they're going to show it, but oh my God.
Yeah, that's a big swing. We can see why Red Sox fans are so excited about that triumvirate. Now, are all of them going to make it through the season in the Red Sox organization? That is the question, because you got to know that people are going to, when they pick up the phone, they're going to be asking for one of those 3 guys if there's a big piece to be moved. I love this. I think this is one of the great things that baseball has done over the years. And now, is it perfect? No, I don't think it's on the best weekend. I would move it up one more weekend because this is college basketball tournament time. And I am a fringe kind of college basketball watcher during the regular season, but I really start to get immersed and get ready for my March fun-filled few weeks by watching this weekend because the games are so fun. So I tend to kind of shift my focus a little bit just as and I imagine I'm not alone, right? People love watching their favorite schools compete at tournament time. So I would move it back 1 week if we could.
Okay.
And I would make them be the stars. But the good news is that every game, so there's 15 games, are all available on at least a streaming service. A bunch of them are on MLB Network. So as long as you have the app, you'll be able to watch your favorite team. Like I can't wait to watch the Guardians tonight. I'll be checking it out. As I mentioned, it's going to be going against some college basketball. So will I be locked in for 9 innings? Probably not. Might I record it and watch it later? Sure, I could. But I love the opportunity. We got 70 of the top 100 prospects, including 5 of the top 10 are there. I mean, I want to see guys like Max Clark. I want to see Noah Schultz of the White Sox. To me, he's a little bit like Sasquatch. Like I keep hearing about him. He's just I just haven't seen him yet. I've seen a couple clips, so I kind of want to watch him at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching minor league baseball. That's just my prerogative, guys. But I hear the names, you read about the names, and it's cool to be able to like see them. And again, competing against what organizations consider their top guys. I think that's the most important part is like your best versus our best. Let's see what our farm says. We have these rankings that like, my best friend Keith Law puts out, but like, what do those matter? Like, go play. Let's see.
Hey, how high a prospect were you?
Initially high, but then I sucked in the minor leagues. I was horrible.
Yeah, but were you ever a top 5 Twins prospect?
Probably my first year. I got drafted, in the first round, first pick for them. So it probably was. But again, I had one good year. My first year, I went to advanced rookie, had a good year. I was like, freshly 18, playing against a bunch of college kids, had a good year. And then the next 2 years, I struggled, man. I played poorly. So I plummeted, Chris.
I wish we
had.
And
then I pulled myself back out of the
Yes, you did.
And established myself.
I wish we had the top 30 lists back then. I'd love to see where Plouffe was fluctuating on that list.
This is why I tell people don't prospect hug. And we've said it before on this show. Go look at your team's top 10 prospects list from 10 years ago and tell me how many guys made it.
You're right. It is
like
really
one,
fun.
Probably 2.
Yep. Today's episode sponsored by Mando, the whole body deodorant in the game. As somebody who's tried it, and I have, I can tell you this stuff works everywhere. We're talking about pits, thighs, and yes, even those awkward spots. Created by a doctor who saw how BO was being misdiagnosed. Mando, it's clinically proven to control odor all day long. In fact, up to 72 hours. That's 3 days long. Their aluminum-free formula, it's powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it even starts. Mando's starter pack. It is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, which are great for on the go. Plus, you get free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack. Use the code baseball today at shopmando.com. That is SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Hey, Chris, what were those parts of your body you were talking about?
Well, you could be talking about pits. You could be talking about stomach. You could be talking about south of the equator.
Okay. No,
yeah, let's clean it up.
Sound weird saying that.
Why?
Next question.
Last question. Best question of the week. Mets are coming out with a 2-part docu-series. It is called The Pursuit. It's all about getting Juan Soto from the Bronx to Queens. Here is a taste.
Wow. What was that negotiation like?
I was a part of that first meeting that we had with him in LA. A pursuit of this kind is a tremendous collaboration.
And so we wanted to show that the Mets is embedded in the family way of thinking.
You watching?
I'm gonna watch it. I don't care about this at all, but I just like baseball, so I'll pretty much watch anything. I have no interest in this whatsoever. I don't. I'm sorry. What are they gonna show? Hey, we went out and offered him $800 million.
Oh, it's about much more than that.
Is it? We took him to some nice dinners.
He just told us that there were other teams that offered him more.
I'm not interested, Chris, but am I going to watch it? Yes.
I don't know.
That's my answer. I don't know. Are you interested in this?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm good. No, I'm really not.
Who is interested in this? Mets fans, okay, I could see that.
Okay, so who did I see in it? I saw in the teaser clip, which runs about 2.5 minutes. I saw Francisco Lindor. I saw Carlos Mendoza. I saw Stevie Cohn. I saw Mrs. Cohn. I saw David Wright. I saw Ron Darling.
Great.
I saw Brandon Nimmo. You know who I did not see?
Juan Soto?
Juan Soto, except for when he sat down at the podium and put his jersey on. So I am wondering if he did a sit-down interview for this. Like, if he didn't, what's the whole point?
I'm not really. I'm sorry. I don't understand what. I don't mean they worked really hard on this, so I don't.
Yeah, right.
Whoever put this together, I apologize. Yes. I'm just saying, I think this is for Mets fans, right?
Wouldn't you watch The Pursuit of Shohei Ohtani instead of this?
If you're like a Yankee fan and you're one of those people that's like a sadistic and you like to, maybe they'd watch it.
Director Dan, would you watch it?
Dan said hell no.
He said hell no. Okay. Oh man, that's
if you're too good about yourself and you want to go down a little bit.
By the way, leave a comment. Should this be our next production move? Should we get Dan the ability to come on camera and just pop?
No, I thought you were going to go with we have to do a live stream with Dan. He needs to watch this. We need to put him in a chair and make him watch this.
Ooh.
That's happening.
Ooh,
Dan, that's happening, Dan.
Oh, I like this. How many F-bombs are going to be coming
Let's
out?
do Jolly and Dan next to each other.
Oh, see? Content creator Trevor Plouffe.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, you're going to be doing it, Dan.
Yes, you are.
That's it. All right, Plouffe. I know you got another travel weekend coming your way, so that'll be a lot of fun, but you'll be back on the show on Monday, and then Tuesday we have first pitch from the Tokyo Dome, which will be awesome. We'll be on right after that as well. Oh, we cannot wait. This is going to be glorious, as we like to say. So everybody, enjoy your baseball weekend. Go out and watch The Pursuit if you want to. Go out and watch the kids that are playing in year 2 of the Spring Breakout. I know I'll be watching as well. And that's all I got for our one-of-a-kind producer and director, Dan Rourke, our amazing intern, Sawyer. That is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday here on Baseball Today.